Hey there, Weeblets, light novel readers, and everybody in between. I'm Zach.
And I'm Sean.
And welcome to Low Key Weeb. So, today's episode is going to be about a manga Dandadan, but before we even get into that, I am just too excited about something I recently picked up, and I just need to share that. So,
what's that, Zach?
It's ReZero. I know. I'm a little late to the game. It came out in 2016. But shit, that's good. Oh my God, I've been so pulled into this. I did 26 episodes in 2 days. I've got a full-time job, a kid, and a wife. And so I just couldn't stop. It's actually sick.
Slow down. You need to tell me what it's about first.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, so it is an isekai. It subverts just about everything you know about the genre. Our main character's only overpowered in the sense that when he dies, he Groundhog Days it and just resets.
Does he actually feel the death, though?
Yeah, no, that's what's so great about it, is he's frequently traumatized. And, like, that is what's such a fun take on it, and it's horrifying, honestly. You know, every time he just, like, wakes up from dying, he's just so shocked and mortified.
Well, it's good to know that trauma can be fun.
Oh, yeah. Fun's a good word for it. The show stresses me out so much. Like, when he reaches his, like, darkest hour arc, it feels so long, and I was just so stressed out the whole time. And, you know, it had me fucking hooked. I couldn't sleep until I got past that darkest hour. Just everything about it, I really love. It subverts so many tropes. And you, Sean, and anyone listening, need to watch it if somehow it slipped past you, because it's only like the most popular isekai ever made, next to maybe Sword Art.
Yeah, is it that popular? Because then how did I also miss it? Because I don't feel like we don't both miss things.
I feel like you are aware of. We've missed a lot. Let's be real.
Yeah, we have.
I feel like you were in a lull in 2016. I feel like that was before I jump started you.
Yeah, it probably was. You know, working 2 jobs and just never sleeping. Yeah, that'll do it.
Excuses.
I am my father's son.
So I just had to bring it up. I'm so excited about it. I just finished the first season. I'm not sure when we're going to do an episode, but I'm going to make Sean watch it, and I'm calling him out right now. I'm calling you out.
I give it 3 episodes.
That's all it needs. I recommend it to anyone. It's a very interesting take. The main character, Subaru, is just... I love him when he's at his worst. It's just like you just want him to get through it. He's very human. It's very humanizing the way he deals with things. But he's got some riz, and I know I'm too old to say that. But you got to start it so that way you can join us when we're going over it and when we do finally start the episode.
Okay, I will watch this just so I can dunk on you when it's terrible. Also, side note, when you say Subaru, in my mind, I'm not picturing a human boy. I'm picturing like a Subaru Outback.
Honestly, he's got Outback vibes. He like the Outback, he can lie. He's got the gusto to fucking make it through winters in the north. Subaru survive where
north of the Mason-Dixon line.
Yeah, most cars don't. Subaru is a Subaru in my heart and in real life. But that being said, we have an episode we're doing today, so we're going to get right down to it. So the manga is called Dandadan. There's currently no anime. They might have announced one.
I've been missing my news a little bit lately, so I haven't seen any updates on it, but I really hope it gets one.
I'm on the fence. I feel like this manga is so unique in style and what they do. I don't want to say I don't want to get one. I just feel like
I want the right studio to do it.
I don't even know if I could see the right studio giving it justice, but I'd watch it for shit. I'll watch it.
Fuck it. Give it to the Jim Henson Productions and just have it all done with Muppets.
I would watch the shit out of that. Just freaking Momo fighting a Muppet. So why don't you hit us with what this is about, Sean?
All right. So Dandadan is essentially a story about a boy looking to get his junk back.
I mean, yeah, it can actually be broken down to that. But hear me out. Hear me out. Let him cook.
Let me run with this. I know that's the abridged story.
Heavily abridged.
It's about a boy named Ken Takakura. From now on, we will refer to him as Okarun because that is what he's referred to as throughout the story, and a girl named Momo. Now, it's an unlikely friendship. Yeah, I know, right? It's a story about an unlikely friendship about...
it's an anime about a kid with no friends.
I know, right? Shocker. It's about a boy who believes in aliens but doesn't believe in ghosts, and Momo believes in ghosts but doesn't believe in aliens, so they basically set out to prove each other wrong. And from there on, they go on a series of wacky misadventures. And by misadventures, I mean they fight monsters.
And aliens. And what's fun about this series is you have cryptid, you have aliens, you have ghosts, and it's all tied together.
And like amalgamations that turn into like eldritch horrors.
Yeah, no, it's really good. The art is terrifying at times. It's cute at times. It's fun. It feels unique. Like it's not a style of anime character I feel like I've seen before.
No, I haven't seen it, especially like when it switches from like it's well drawn, but it feels pretty standard from the character models until you get the first monster or alien. I was horrified.
Oh, me too. Oh God, and even some of the later ones, because today we're just kind of covering the first arc, but later on you even get there's this thing called the Evil Eye, and it is just, I was reading that part in my house alone at night, because that's when I do this stuff, is after the family's asleep. And I almost had to stop because I was just so, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a bitch baby, but like I almost had to stop. So we're going to be getting into spoilers here soon. If you haven't read this is one of those manga, you need one chapter. Like so much happens in every chapter. After the first one, you'll know, like, hey, this is either for me or not. But, even the creator of One Punch Man backs this.
Yeah. And even if it's not for you, still read it, because this is the one manga I feel like you need to read.
Oh, 100%. It is my favorite current read. There are so many things that I'm reading right now that I am, like, absolutely passionate about. I can run around in circles. Actually, before we started, I was running around in circles screaming about how much I love Kaiju number 8.
Can confirm. Also, you're welcome for telling you to read that.
Yeah, Sean tells me to read things, and it'll take me forever to get around to them. But when I do, I'm just like, Sean, why didn't you tell me about this sooner? And he's like, I did. And I'm like, fuck you anyway.
And that's about the point where I hang up.
Yeah, pretty much. Even though, like, you've got reads like that I'm just running around screaming about, they still just don't even hold a candle to this.
No.
It is just so unique, fun, and... I like getting the cryptids in there mixed in with everything else was such a sweet treat.
Yeah,
and these characters are all just so lovable. So we're going to get into the story now. If you haven't read it, start and then join us. When we first open, the first character you meet is Momo, and she is talking to her soon-to-be ex. Because he's a piece of shit. He's just absolute fucking garbage.
He's abusive and manipulative.
And so he's just like, hey, if you ain't got money, then, I'm leaving you.
Not only that, not if you don't have money and you're not putting out.
Oh, yes, that's right. She ends up talking to her friends. They talk about it, and you get to know Momo a little bit here. And they're like, well, why were you even with him? And she's like, well, because he looked like my darling Ken Takakura.
Who is apparently a Japanese actor. I don't know if he's actually a Japanese actor, but for the sake of the story, at the very least, he is.
Yeah, just kind of like your cool action star kind of guy. I feel like he seems like he's more along the lines of like Spike from Cowboy Bebop kind of guy.
Except with a shaved head. Tough, hard-boiled.
Yeah, tough, hard-boiled guy, and I guess Spike was a bad reference. I ain't bright. Just like a real man's man that stands by who he is. Like, I mean, you just kind of know the trope.
Yeah.
Just a cool guy. And that is all it took for her to date a piece of shit. Is she loves Ken Takakura so much, she's willing to date just absolute garbage over it. And so she ends up walking away from this conversation and sees our titular hero. He is getting picked on by some kids. They are throwing paper at him, and he's just trying to read.
Yeah, and they're about to throw a...
magnet. They wrap one of them in magnets, and they're about to throw that at him. And then Momo Protect. She shows up and just sits in front of him and just gives a death glare. She sits between them. And
gives them the side eye.
And so this causes a bit of a misassumption. Our titular main hero, we find out his name is Ken Takakura, and this is later in the chapter, but she refuses to call him that because it makes her feel feelings.
Yeah, because she doesn't want associating that name with someone who is an absolute dork with a bowl cut.
And so she calls him...
Okarun.
So back to where we were in the story. So she protects him, and after she walks away, he's like, I know what you're about. I know why you came and talked to me.
He's like, I know what you're into, which is a creepy way to start a conversation.
Yeah, he's very socially inept. And then he shows her a magazine he's looking at about
just occult stuff.
Theories.
Yeah, it's definitely a conspiracy theory, Rag.
Like the biggest picture that comes to mind. I know there's like lizard people in one of the pictures, and then the other's like Obama's been to Mars.
Just like a full-on caricature of Obama.
It's great. And she's like, what? No, what's wrong with you?
You think I believe in aliens?
Just leave me alone. I was just doing something. And then, he starts talking about aliens. She's like, no, I don't believe in aliens.
I believe in ghosts. Well, spirits, she says, but, let's not split hairs.
Yeah, right. And Okarun is like, that ain't real. What's wrong with you?
It's like, you're an idiot.
So they start arguing, and they bicker kind of like this throughout the series. And that's part of their charm is, they're friends bickering. And so he's just like, fine, I'll prove it. Or she was. I don't remember which one.
It doesn't matter. They make a challenge to each other.
They do. And so he sends her to a high, like...
It was a hospital. It was an abandoned hospital.
That is known for having a lot of sightings. He's like, if you go there, you're
UFO sightings.
If you go there, you're guaranteed to get picked up by UFOs. Then she sends him to a tunnel, and she's like, there's high spiritual energy there. Everyone's saying they see these ghosts. And so they make a bet.
Yeah, they make a bet. Whoever loses, like, assuming they can prove it's real, whoever loses is going to be the other person's gopher for a set period of time.
So they end up going to each place. The first one we kind of see doing it is Okarun, and he's on the phone with her.
Mm-hmm.
And so as he's talking to Momo, and this is honestly when I was sold, because I'm just like, the fuck am I reading even?
Yes.
So what's so good about this part is it's just like the comedy involved and the absolute horror involved.
Oh, yeah.
Because he runs into just this old, nasty hag, and there's so much detail in this series. And just, it's just like, you can like smell this lady's wrinkles.
It's horrifyingly detailed.
But then to counteract that, she says, if you suckle my teats, I'll gobble your schlong. Yep. And so he's just freaked out. He starts running, and then Momo's on the phone saying, don't run. If you run, like they say, don't run. If she catches you, you're done for. And then cut to Momo.
And then she turns around, and she's just met with these three creepy humanoid figures.
They're like thumbs with faces.
And the faces are just awful, just absolute nightmare material. Like, if I met one of these people in the dark, I'd crap myself.
Oh, 100%. I mean, really, like, it doesn't take much for you. You're a coward, too.
Yeah, no, I absolutely am a coward.
Game recognized game.
But they absolutely give off serial killer vibes when they show up.
And exactly what kind of happens is real creepy. They just start, like, chasing after her. They rip her clothes off, and then cut to she's strapped down to, like, an X table.
Yeah, and they're... explaining that they're Serpoans or something along those lines.
I think that's how it is.
Serpoans, yeah. And they're like, hey, back on our planet, there are no females, and we just clone everyone. But, we lose all our individuality when we clone people, so we're going to breed you.
And a great part of this is they all just, for women and men, they're like, hey, we're going to harvest your banana organs.
Yep.
I love the line banana organs. They say it so many times, you'd think it would get old to me, but it doesn't. I love banana organs.
Nah, you're a child.
I am. Oh, I am. My reading level is 2nd grade, and so is my emotional maturity.
You illiterate fuck.
I can't argue. So... But then they were also just like, hey, we're going to breed with you. And so real rapey vibes. They start... I mean, like, they kind of, like, use psychosis to, like, kind of put her in the mood, I guess. But she's, like, fighting back.
They start trying to put her in the mood, and she ain't having it.
She ain't having it, and then they just bust out this big, weird, creepy...
mechanical dong.
But
not like we would think of a mechanical dong?
No, it kind of looks like a satellite.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So it's just like, it's about to happen, and then all of a sudden her phone rings, and...
Okarun becomes Phone Karun.
Phone Karun pops out, and he now looks like the old hag, except real, like, more demonic and scary.
Yeah.
Wide open mouth, and she just bites off one of their fake banana organs,
yep.
Spits it out, and he's there to save him. And it kind of shows the scary face peel away, and you can see his glasses in his face, and he's like, Momo, I'm cursed. I can't control it, but I want to save you.
Yeah, so apparently that allows you to transport yourself through a smartphone, but, we'll take it.
Ghosts are that's the great thing about Ghosts, is you can write anything you want. Ghosts can do whatever the fuck you decide they can do.
That's fair. Also, Momo wasn't complaining. She needed help.
Yeah, Momo was not happy. Who would be? So... he starts fighting them, and all of a sudden they use some technique that pins him against, like an energy pins him.
Yeah, they got some
wall.
sort of like telekinesis power.
And he starts transforming back, and you kind of get his backstory that he's never had friends, and he's always been searching for aliens because he thought they would accept him. He's like, guys, I'll give you anything. I'll give you my banana thing. Just let Momo go. I want to be your friends. And then they're just like, nah, fuck y'all.
No, absolutely not. Why would we do that?
And he's like, oh, I'm going to do whatever I can to protect Momo. He starts transforming again, and he's just like, I can't. And he transforms back. It's like, oh, well.
Well, that was
anticlimactic, but good. A for effort, It's like
and smash cut to the end of the series. No.
Right? Like he gave his Naruto speech, but then just didn't back it up. But you try, boy. So and then Momo's spiritual power awakens, and she saves herself.
Yeah, because apparently the whatever
them trying to get her in the mood awakened something. But it wasn't. It
wasn't what they wanted.
No. So she just started. There's a comic I can relate it to, but there's a comic called The Runaways, and there's a character who's kind of like Starfire, if you know her from DC Comics. This is in Marvel, though, and she's just like a super colorful psychic lady, and I feel like they give the vibe that it's really colorful, but she's not. I'm not entirely sure how I would even explain like how they did it, like that. It's just like it seems like it's bright and vibrant all of a sudden, even though there's no color, and she just starts breaking shit apart and throwing it at him.
Oh yeah, she just starts tearing everything down.
And so she rickety wrecks them, and they just jump? How do they get out of? It turns out they're in a UFO. How the fuck did they get out?
Yeah, they just straight up jump out. They don't have any.
Yeah.
Because they're running and they're trying to escape, but then all of a sudden they're just out.
They're just that's what it is too. So spaceship's blowing up, everybody's safe, and then Okarun just starts transforming into the cursed thing, and it turns out with her powers, Momo can suppress it.
Yeah.
So she starts suppressing, and they just kind of start talking about what next.
Yeah, because what do you do in that situation?
Neither of them. They're like apologizing to each other for being so vain or stupid or whatever, and they just, they all sorts of feel bad.
Oh yeah, because Okarun's just laying down on the grass because yeah, that's just a nightmare. Like, that's trauma.
Yeah, you lost your shit and you're being controlled by a creepy old lady. So they end up going back. You find out, I think a little earlier, that Momo's grandma is spiritual. And even though she doesn't necessarily believe in spirits herself prior to this, she does because her grandma does. And she really trusts in her grandma. So they go to meet her. So they go back to Momo's place, and her grandma has like seals up. They live at a temple.
Yeah, it looks like a temple. It's got the whole gate and everything, and they've got seals up on the temples.
As soon as he walks through, he burns. He just lights on fire because he's cursed, and the seal is meant to stop that.
Yeah. So Momo takes off the seal off the gate because, why would you do that? That's how you die in horror movies.
That's how they try to in this.
Right, and she lets Okarun in, and, they go upstairs into Momo's room, and she tosses him some girl clothes because he lost all his clothes in this because, when you have an old ghost trying to gobble your schlong, she's tearing off your clothes.
And then they hear a bell. And she's like, I've never heard that bell before. Well, that's because you don't go pulling seals off cursed places, lady.
Because that other bell is for spirits.
And so they go down, and it turns out they're kind of in another realm. And this is, a recurring thing that happens. And everything around them is
walled off. It's blacked out.
Walled off, and the sky is blacked out.
Yeah.
So there's still things around them, but the sky is blacked out. And then a giant sumo alien comes out, and Okarun relates. So and that is a recurring thing in this series as well. That aliens and spirits, they're very closely related in a lot of ways. That these seals were keeping out the aliens as well.
Yeah, that's what they do in the story. And you know what? Let's just go with it. They might. I don't know.
Oh yeah. That's I'm just gonna
assuming you believe in both. I'm not you.
I don't know what I believe in anymore. I work at a hospital. I used to not believe in ghosts. I've seen stuff. It's very scary.
Shout out Terry.
It's Ted. Ted's our elevator ghost.
Cool, I'm going to get haunted when I go there.
It's cool. Ted's chill. Sometimes he'll just open the door to a brick wall. Or won't let you leave. But that's a story for another
Won't let
day.
you leave, much like the walls around this place.
Exactly. And so back to the story. So there's this big sumo guy, and Okarun is just like, hey, can you suppress just my brain, or just
the turbo granny part of it?
The turbo granny part.
Let me keep the powers, but let me have my mind.
And it works. And so this is when you first see him, when it's him with Turbo's power. And I love the character design, first of all. Like, I like a scrawny guy. I don't know why.
It's like looking in the mirror.
Self-insert. And so he gets taller. His hair's slicked back. He's still got the glasses.
He's got stripes down his face.
Yeah, and his jaw gets longer, and he's just depressed.
Oh, cripplingly depressed.
And that's the fun. That is like the issue with using this power. It's not like some things where it's like slowly killing you. Like, don't get me wrong, he gets tired, but he just gets depressed.
Yeah, he's like, I can't do this. What's the point?
Like, fam, I get you. I feel
real.
you.
Too real.
I had to back out. It wasn't the horror; it was the existential horror of existence. He goes to fight it. It tries clapping its hands together because it's a giant sumo thing, and its fingers just fall off. And
fingers off of one hand. Yep.
Just one hand. 5 fingers are gone, and it shows Okarun with just one of the thumb in its mouth, because thumb meat's the best meat.
Apparently. I mean, I'm going to go with the ghost-powered boy on this.
Oh, 100%. But that exhausts him, he realizes.
Yeah.
And we kind of get our first anime limitation, which is, a super common thing. Like, he can only go all out twice.
But he doesn't even know he can go all out twice at this point. That's just...
Yeah, that I think this sets that standard, though, because he does do it again, doesn't he?
It does build up to it, but at this point, he's only done it once.
Yes, and so he's talking to Momo. He's like, I think I can only do this one more time. And they're like, oh, he's a sumo guy. We don't, because they just, rules are weird. So they're just like, oh, if we can just knock him down like a sumo, he'll die.
Yeah, we've got to make his hands touch the ground.
And apparently if you make his hands touch the ground, they disintegrate. So he ends up going all out. She holds on to one of his legs. He takes out another. Yep. The sumo starts to fall, but then he catches himself. Yeah. Okarun is exhausted, and I feel did he give another speech about protecting people and then just fall flat?
Yes, he does.
I feel you. I love your gusto. I love your grit.
But sometimes
bless your heart.
Yeah.
Bless your heart.
Spirit is willing, the flesh is spongy and bruised.
I know that. And so Momo's got to step up. Momo, protect. And she starts kind of fighting it, and just, it fucks her up.
She pummels her.
Throws her against a wall, and then just keeps pummeling her into it. And like, Okarun's like, do something. I
gotta
can
fight
help
back.
you.
You're gonna die.
And then she just reaches, after getting like pummeled deep into this wall, she grabs Okarun and pulls him into the hole with her, and then puts the seal up so he's safe. And then our alien boy is flash fire.
Just completely disintegrates because his dumbass pounded them outside the seal.
And so that's our very first victory. But obviously after this, the world turns back to normal. And Momo's beat. So she passes out, and it ends with
Okarun turning back into being possessed by Turbo Granny.
And like this chapter ends with like her Turbo Granny about to eat Momo.
Yep.
And then Grandma shows up. So just so there's no confusion during this, I'm going to be calling Turbo Granny Turbo, and Grandma or Granny.
Or Old Hag.
Or Old Hag, Granny. So Turbo's Turbo, Granny's Granny. And so we find out that Granny, oh no, she's hot.
That's the major conflict of the story.
That's the whole conflict. It's just like, oh God, Granny's hot. So she looks really, really young, and she shows up with a baseball bat and some nails, which she's like smoking the whole time, right?
Yeah, basically every time we see her, she's smoking.
She has cigarettes too,
literally and figuratively.
We both went to the same place, and so she's just like, I think she just yells at it and get your hands off my granddaughter or something. Yeah. And
I thought my granddaughter just brought home another trash boyfriend.
That's what it was. God, I love her. And so the Turbo tries to attack Granny and just catches on fire. And then she drills a nail down next to her. And what it is she sets up these seals. First, she put one around her, put a nail in, so no spirits could go into that without getting burned. And then once she knocked Turbo Granny away, she knocked her into a circle and put a nail outside of it so that Turbo Granny could not come out.
Yes. Yep.
And so Turbo Granny starts talking a big game, quite like Okarun.
Yep.
And is like, oh, I'm going to kill you, blah, 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 blah. And then we end this chapter. They're good at the cliffhanger chapters. Yeah. I'm so glad I waited until there was like 100 chapters before I picked it up. I'd be dying.
Slacker.
Slapper?
Slacker.
Slacker. I am a slacker. So it ends with her like dropping a nail because if she drops a nail inside, it'll vaporize it. And it's like Turbo's just like, oh, you'll kill this boy. You'll kill this boy. And
she's like, I don't
give a fuck.
I don't know this boy.
She's the hardest bitch in this series, and Momo's hard as fuck. Like, don't get me wrong.
but Momo's not as hard as she can be yet. So this is still grandma territory.
There is room for growth. She can get grandma hard. Huh.
Phrasing.
Yeah, phrasing. I feel like if I would have typed that out, there wouldn't have been a comma. And you need a comma in that statement.
Yes. Yes. Just assume the comma, folks.
And then so it's our next chapter just opens with Momo waking up.
Yep. Waking up in a panic, like she had a bad dream, just sitting up, sweaty, the whole deal.
And Granny's just laying down watching TV.
Yep.
And you start to get to know like their relationship because like she speaks very highly of her grandma, but she speaks very down to her in person. Just calls her old hag, and she's just cursing at her. She's like, "Where's my friend?" And Granny's just like, "That piece of shit boy you brought."
It's like, "Oh yeah, I killed him."
She did. Yeah, she just straight up says, "I killed him." I was like, "The fuck." And then she tells her to go out and check one of the spaces in the temple, and he's just sitting there.
Yeah, he's just trapped in there. He's a human boy again.
And so that is a safe space he can be with. The second he leaves that space, that is when he'll start transforming again. But Granny put him somewhere safe. Hard Granny.
Put him in the closet like he's Harry Potter.
He might be there anyway. No judges. So like the next point we get to is they're talking about what they're gonna do. So Granny lets them know that lets them know about Turbo and that she is known as the 100 kilometer
per hour.
I don't know what that is. So if you guys can get into the comments and let me know what a kilometer is.
Yeah, they don't teach the metric system here in America.
Kilometer.
Yeah, we complain about not.
A metric, Sean, is something you use to track businesses. Okay, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. I know that this whole line of jokes is just such stupid low hanging fruit for Americans. But whatever. Let me have my fun. So the goal is for them to train so they can outrun Turbo Granny and outsmart her instead of trying to overpower her.
Yes. Yep. That's the whole deal.
So Okarun has to go potty.
He does have to go potty.
He's got to make a dump.
He's been fighting for a long time without having to go to the bathroom.
And so for some reason they're arguing about even letting him use the toilet. But he can't go out of Momo's sight and use the toilet. So he runs up there. And before he does that, she tries something that Granny tells her to do to try to visualize and see the spirit that she's containing with her eyes closed. And that doesn't work. So she has to watch him poop.
Yep.
Nobody enjoyed it.
No one
enjoys it. And so while he's pooping, Turbo ends up freezing everyone.
Yeah, she freezes time for everyone except Momo and herself.
And Momo's Granny's nose starts bleeding. Okarun's nose starts bleeding, and even Granny's ears end up start bleeding. Mm-hmm. And so Turbo's just like, you have till tomorrow to come. I am way stronger than you think, and I will kill everyone you love with a stroke, I think she says.
She gives her the choice between giving Granny a stroke or a heart attack.
Yeah, so she's like, you got one day, or everybody you love's gonna die.
So basically just Granny.
Boosh.
Haha, she has no parents.
So as soon as they all snap back to, Granny looks up, sees a seal in the house is just burnt to shit, and she's like, what happened? So they decide to go. I mean, what are they going to do? Momo has an idea that she's just like, I'm going to challenge her, I'm going to set rules, and we'll figure this out. She asks Granny to help, but she can't. Her power is, she gains her powers as a medium through gods.
Yeah, and every area has a local god.
And so the local god that gives her powers is not where Granny is, and
That seems to be...
or Turbo Granny is.
Yes.
So, and we also find out that Turbo, there is also something called a bound spirit in that tunnel. So it's not only Turbo, but there's a bound spirit, and
Turbo's been using the bound spirit's power.
They work together. They've combined.
Yeah.
But, Granny says, like, she has gone to try to do something about Turbo before, but you cannot... There's nothing you can do against a bound spirit when they are in their zone.
Yes.
Okay, kind of like just with demons. Like, you're in a demon's lair, you ain't got shit.
Exactly.
So she dresses our kids up and sends them off. The dressings are to protect them.
Yeah, they look just like some old feudal style clothing.
Yeah.
Picture Demon Slayer again.
Yeah. And again, we're going to come back to that next episode.
Yeah.
Demon Slayer's coming up, so come back for season 2 for that. If talking about demons is getting you going. So the kids go to see Turbo Granny.
Yes.
When they're first walking in, already it's just like Okarun is just hiding behind Momo.
Yeah, because why would he want to go back to the scene of the crime?
I guess so. I feel like losing your goods is probably pretty scarring. I would be traumatized.
She literally gobbled his schlong.
Now, here we cut to another really scary part where it's just like they're talking about Turbo Granny and they're just like, well, how scary can one old lady be? One little old lady. And then it's just like her whole face is the size of this tunnel that can fit a semi in it.
And it's like, that's nightmare fuel.
It's just like a face cruising through the tunnel at them.
Yes.
And then they end up being cornered.
Because they turn around and guess what? Surprise! Granny has another face blocking off the other end of the tunnel.
Face Off 2.
Oh, God. I'd watch Nick Cage in it.
I'd watch Nick Cage in anything.
I'd watch Nick Cage play Turbo Granny. Are you kidding me?
I already like the series. Don't sell me on it harder. So this is where we see Momo protect. Momo is so hard because Granny's closing in on him and Momo's not flinching at all. I mean, Okarun's cowering, and I'm not knocking you, buddy. I'd just be crying.
Yes, absolutely.
But Momo's just standing there, big and bad. She's like, I challenge you.
Just as she's about to get eaten.
Yeah, she's killing us is easy, but you can't beat us in a race. Turbo Granny turns tiny again.
You fucking raggedy bitch.
And then the way she talks to Turbo Granny is the same as the way she talks to her granny. Very disrespectfully.
Oh, yeah. Just dunking on her all day.
So the goal is, they're like, Turbo Granny, if we can beat you outside of the city, you give him all his goods back. And she's just like, yeah, no, speed is my thing. You will never beat me. And so Momo's just like, one rule. You got to count for 10. You've got to count to 10 minutes.
Yep, because we got to have a head start because we're not powerful ghosts.
So Turbo Granny starts counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 26, 3 minutes,
because
5 minutes.
As an old lady, she clearly has dementia, and Ken forgets how to count.
As long as she gets to 10, she doesn't care. So she almost immediately catches Momo and encapsulates her in dirt.
Yes. Yep.
I'm trying to think Full Metal Alchemist when they lock down Pride.
Valid.
So then she just starts counting again. Okarun's shitting his pants. She gets to 10, comes after him, and he suckles her teeth. He just latches onto that boob and just starts pulling, with his mouth. He just bites down and starts yanking left and right.
Straight up rips off her nipple.
Does he really? I didn't even notice that in the scene. I skimmed through these too fast.
It doesn't show nipple, but I'm just, this could be just be in my mind, but I'm picturing him just ripping and tearing.
I'm all about living your own headcanon. I'm not going to change that for you.
That's all I do. That's why I'm medicated.
So she can't do anything because he's wearing that outfit. Right. And he's latched on. She's not enjoying it, believe it or not.
And believe it or not, she can't shake him off. He is tenacious.
So she possesses him and then can't do anything. Momo has learned to sense the spirit through this rock.
Hey, call back to when she had to sense him through the crapper.
yeah, right. Again, being traumatized can change people a lot.
Trauma gives you power if you use it right.
It does. And so if somebody had to watch me poop, I imagine they'd learn new things too. Anything, honestly, that's how you get another personality. People just trying to escape what they've seen.
Yes.
So now that she's contained Okarun can still use her abilities and breaks Momo out. And then we have a bounded spirit.
Yeah, and that bounded spirit is not just any ordinary spirit. It is an oh shit building-sized crab.
With faces all over it.
It does have faces. Oh, yeah, it does have faces.
It's honestly really creepy even before it gets creepy.
Yeah, I'm allergic to shellfish, so it was already horrifying to me.
So they start running away because of, oh, fuck, crab. And I think they touch base on the fact that, like, a lot of the times, like, these bounded spirits and stuff are in the form of crabs. I don't know if that matters or not, but I just want to
assume it's just a riff on everything evolving into crabs over and over again, if you're aware of evolution. No?
You lost me on that one.
I'm sorry. It's okay. Well, it doesn't matter to the story.
So they're getting chased down. They're running. The crab is so big, it is obviously very fast. So Okarun picks up Momo, and they start sprinting.
Yes.
That's all out number one.
All out number one. I hope you're keeping track.
He's going so fast that when they get to a bend, they just jump, and actually his first all out is when they're running, but he helicopter legs.
Oh, yeah, he does helicopter leg.
He can't turn because Momo's too heavy, which she takes offense to. And then he helicopter legs so they can land safely. They're like, oh, yeah, we're finally away. And the crab just fucking jumps down.
Yeah, it's like, surprise. I got 6 legs and I'm about to...
6 legs, bitches!
I'm not sure if crabs have 6 legs. Don't correct me if I'm wrong, please.
I'm going to just go with you. I think so. Again, not the brightest pair, but we're not here to be bright. So the crab just jumps down. They realize no one can see it, so it just looks like Momo's piggybacking on some stranger. People
just
are like,
going. What? They think, she says, looks like we're just going super hard in a game of chicken.
So she has a brilliant idea to run to a bathhouse. The crab follows them up in, gets into the bath, and then it gets stiff. Because, like, Momo is just straight up a fat kid. Like, all she's thinking about this whole time they're running is eating crab.
Yeah, because she remarks about how much she loves eating crab. That's all she wants to do is eat crab, so she boils it alive. Or tries to, anyways.
It kind of works, because it stiffens up, and then they're able to run away. But, like, after they get away from it, half a city of people start running at them.
Yeah, because little do they know that the crab can order the spirits of the people in the local cemetery to possess people.
And so they got people running after him now, and...
It's like a zombie movie.
It is. It really is. And again, it's just so terrifying.
Right.
And they feel so trapped, and the stakes are so high here that this scene is just so great. She's like, Okarun, you got to run again. So I can only go all out one more time. And she's like, if you don't, we're going to die.
Yeah, you got no choice, bud.
Once they get so far away, the crab catches up to them.
Yeah, the crab does catch up because...
And they get knocked down, and she loses her grip on Turbo Granny.
Yes.
So Turbo Granny's there. There's a bunch of ghosts, and then the crab is there. And you're just like, oh, shit. And then Turbo Granny combines with the crab.
And turns into an absolute eldritch horror.
It's horrifying.
Like, I literally cannot describe it. It has the shape of a crab, plus a bunch of other extra stuff. Like, I feel like you would literally go mad if you saw it in real life.
Oh, yeah, 100%. It's so well done. And I love when they do the horror stuff like this because, I mean, the situation was already shit your pants.
Oh, yeah.
And it just got... I don't know how you would define more shit your pants.
Magnitudes worse.
Just start defining your dumps with earthquake magnitude.
Yeah, literally, there's no other way to do this.
But, lo and behold, Momo has one power.
She can grab shit.
So a train's going by, she grabs that, and... They have a minute to rest. She's like, well, you're the 100-kilometer-per-hour granny.
This train goes 120 kilometers per hour, and it's like verbal middle fingers the entire way.
It might be actual middle fingers. You think I'd remember? I think I read it 2 days ago. I read this chapter. My stupid ass can't remember shit. But trains turn.
And you know what they do when they turn? They slow down.
So crab's on the train all of a sudden. They're on top of it, and then the crab granny jumps on top of the train, and, well, hey, you got an eldritch horror coming after you.
Yeah, about to be welcome to the Thunderdome.
So there's a reason they're on the train. They had planned this, and Momo's kind of holding the crab back for a moment, but then she's holding on to it, because as they pass out of the city, they pass into...
Granny's dojo. Sphere of influence.
Like, as soon as that train passes into the next area, Granny's standing there, cigarette in mouth, arms crossed, like a fucking badass, and that fucker just catches on fire.
Because she had placed seals all over the gate that they passed through.
God, I just love... what I do when I'm reading manga, and this was even before I started doing the podcast, but I use it for reference now, is like whenever there's a panel or a page I love, I screenshot it just so I can look back later, and on eventually I'm going to make a wall, I promise, of just all these screenshots I love. And Granny in that scene is just so fucking tough. It's just so sweet. She doesn't give a fuck. She knows what she's doing, and then like afterwards she prays for them. And so that is how we end off this first arc. It's just, you've got a giant burning eldritch crab demon on fire, grandma looking sweet as shit, and our
smoking
kids...
a cigarette.
Smoking's not cool, but she makes it cool again. They're like, I hate smoking. I have mentioned this. I am a smoker. Don't ever start smoking. But
she makes me want to start smoking.
Her and Spike Spiegel, they make smoking cool.
Power couple.
Watch that. So yeah, I mean, this first arc, I was so hooked. I mean, I was hooked on page 1.
Yep.
I'm hooked on page 117 now. I mean, it had the series just keeps you guessing. You never know where they're going to go with it.
And it's a dead sprint the entire time.
It is. Like, our brief reprieves are almost unsettling because you know something's coming, but you don't know when. The things that I like about, we'll just go into the series and the arc, I mean, is everything. I like everything about it. You need to read it if you haven't. I don't know if you've made it this far, having not read it, but you're wrong.
Yeah, that we don't often say you're wrong, but you're wrong.
No, this is objectively one of the best running manga at the moment, and I
will fight you if you say otherwise.
Fight me.
Not literally. I might be big, but I'd rather not fight.
I fight Sean's battles. Big guy, little guy. I'm 5'8". I'm not little, but compared to Sean, I am. Just everything about this series it just blew me out of the water. Sean was just like, watch it. I'm like, eventually, or read it. And then eventually I did. I'm like, Sean, what the fuck? Why didn't you tell me about this?
I mean, and I'd only been trying for months.
And I just can't even, like, the character design's awesome. One of my favorite things about it is all the volumes. Mm-hmm. I am about putting your characters in drip. Like... Oh. At the beginning of episodes, on the front of volumes, like, these kids got drip, and I love it. There are so many different, like, off pages or off panels where it's just, you see these characters wearing different styles and everything. And then as you get to know new characters moving forward, you know, when you meet someone and you don't like them, I can almost promise you will,
eventually,
for one reason or another, eventually like them. Like, there are characters that at first you're just like, bro, fuck off.
Like, get out of my manga.
Yeah, like, right? Like, I don't want this kind of conflict right now. And then it turns out it's not even the conflict at all, or let alone the conflict you think it's going to be. And they just build on these characters so well. Momo and Ken are so enjoyable, and you just want to smush their faces together.
Like, kiss.
The grandma's great. The dysfunctional family is always a vibe I'm down with, and it's a very found family series.
Oh yeah, it's all about putting people around the dinner table at the end of the day.
That's really what it is, and they're all just so lovable. The art is so good. It's so detailed. Just the biology of everyone's so perfect. There are so many scenes I screenshot just because it's just like, how are you going to draw a person looking this good doing this? Like, right. At one point, there's like, it's almost like an axe kick, and this is later on, but I was just like, I had a screenshot that the man, like, how are you going to make a man look so beautiful?
Or even when he's doing the helicopter spin to slow them down. That's...
Yeah, and all of the action is unique, and it feels different from anything else, and it feels so... It's so good at pulling you in.
And it flows well. And that's the more important part to me, is it flows well.
100%. You know, it's nothing ever feels like there's dull moments. You get breaks. That's what it is. It's not a dull moment. You just get a break sometimes. Yes. As far as like downsides to this manga, if you find one, let me know. But I'll tell you, probably you're wrong.
I only have one potential downside to this manga. Just one. It's potential, and it's based purely off the possibility that you might not be comfortable with Momo getting attacked in the beginning, but that's about it.
I mean, that's fair. I was about to fight you. I was about to throw... we don't have a table in our studio. It's like one of those TV stands, like the...
That you put, like, TV dinners on.
Yeah, so I'd flip that table because that's about what my build can support.
Yeah.
I'm 150 pounds wet. So, yeah, I feel you on that, but really the series... I can't. I'm mad at the series because it's not finished. Because
Yeah, he gets super impatient waiting for updates.
I am very, again, I won't sleep so that I can just watch things. That's me with ReZero. I'll probably finish the series tonight. So as far as our shame rating goes, with this one, we're going to say like a 1 is brutally suckling Turbo Granny's teat.
And 10 is going to be Granny with a baseball bat smoking a cigarette.
Like a badass.
Like a badass.
So I'm thinking this one's a 9. Now, don't get me wrong. If someone catches you reading this, especially there are like a ton of lines or like the Momo being captured by aliens scene, really, I wouldn't read this in public, but I don't give a shit. It's too good. It's a 9.
Yeah.
You are not allowed to feel shame. If somebody questions what you're reading, you shove it in their face like you are Mace Hughes showing someone their children.
You literally put them in a headlock and make them read the first chapter.
100%. There's no shame in this. I don't care what it looks like. Double down. Dig your heels in. I'll die on this hill.
Yeah, absolutely. Because this is normally something we would give a lower rating to, but it is so good. It is so good. It is so good.
Sean's sitting here in euphoria. So, I mean, that's where we are with this. Catch us in a month, and we'll be going over the next arc. It'll probably be 2 arcs. It's the Acro Silky arc, as well as
Shrimp Guy.
Shrimp Guy School. If you know what we're talking about, If not, get to knowing.
Yeah, because Shrimp Guy is awesome.
Everyone loves Shrimp Guy. He's a good dad. There aren't enough good dads in the world.
Only good dad in manga.
Gendo Ikari. Can't even keep a straight face here.
That's a hot take.
That's the hottest take today. So I hope you guys catch us next time. We're picking up where we left off on Demon Slayer. We're going to be doing Season 2. Season 2 somehow steps it up and honestly makes Season 1 look kind of weak.
Yeah. But,
which is saying an incredible amount. Season 2 just blew me away. Ain't no brakes on the Mugen train, but like, and then you have the freaking...
Entertainment District.
That arc is even better than Mugen Train. And I will have everyone know that anytime my daughter's riding on my back, I yell, ain't no brakes on the daddy train. And I owe Sean for that. So, and
You're welcome.
It's cuter when a 4-year-old says it.
Yes.
Outside of that, I hope you guys catch us for our next manga episode in between this one and our next Dandadan one. We're going to start taking a dive into Kaiju number 5. What is wrong with me? Kaiju number 8.
Kaiju number 5 is the prequel they haven't written yet.
Yeah, no, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody. That's it. I went with Mambo number 5. That's what my brain did, and that's why I said it wrong.
Hooray for ADHD!
Oh God, it's so miserable, but I make it work. So yeah, we're gonna be diving into Kaiju number 5 because I can't fucking
Kaiju
wait.
number 8. Kaiju number 8.
Is it illiteracy or just stupidity?
I don't know, but I'm about ready to fight you.
That's fair. So until next time, guys, let's go ahead and let's roll up those waifu wall scrolls.
Hide our figurines.
And until next time, let's keep it low-key, weebs.